Good evening, this is Business Forum. I am Anita Mwanguzi. Welcome. 8 years after the deadly protests against the destruction of Mabida Forest for a sugarcane plantation, we bring you the proprietor, Mehta, the Lugazi Sugar Corporation chairman, who was behind the intended mega sugarcane investment. In an exclusive interview with Mahendra Mehta, Kenneth Wide starts by asking him whether he has achieved his dream to have Uganda the chief exporter of sugar to East and Central Africa.
Well, when I came back, I was the first one to be invited by Professor Lule, the first president of Uganda. 15 days after Amin was thrown out. I was in Nairobi. I was operating from Nairobi as the headquarters, and doing business in Nigeria, Sudan, taking turnkey contracts or doing consultancy for the various governments. So I said, how do I come? Air service is not working, roads are blocked, railway is not working. So he said, come in a charter. And at that time, no charter company was prepared to take the risk of flying to Uganda because mopping up operation was still going on. So ultimately, he arranged through a friend, that the charter should bring me. And he asked me, what should we do to restore the economic chaos that we are in, how to rectify that. And I said, you'll have to build up a new image for Uganda, because at that time, Uganda was under the shadow of Amin era. When you talk about Uganda, you talk about Amin. So I suggested, probably you can consider giving all the properties back to the original occupants of the property. Then you can get in touch with the international agencies, try and seek their assistance. So after that, Pinaisa came in power after Lule. And at that time we signed an agreement to take over 49% of Sugar Corporation of Uganda and all other companies that we had left behind. And it was a Herculean task to rebuild these companies. It's easier to start something from scratch in any other country where there's a lot of freedom, a lot of facilities are available, a lot of banking facilities are available. But Uganda was literally bankrupt at the time. And we asked for $500 or $5 million, they'll give you $50,000. And it cost us about $100 million to rehabilitate these industries which were left behind. But with the help of government and with our reputation, we could manage to raise that much money and rehabilitate the sugar factory, the cable plant, the tea estates, and other industries we have.
What's the production capacity as per now, from the scratch
to
this level?
We have expanded our production capacity. It used to be 500,000 tons of sugar a year. And now it has gone to 500,000 tons of cane crushing per annum. Now it has gone to 1 million tons. It's double capacity. And if you get more sugar cane from outgrowers, you can go up to 1.5 million tons with the same capacity.
Do you think you have satisfied the Ugandan market?
I'm talking about 1.5 million tons of cane, which gives you a 10% recovery, something like 150,000 tons of sugar.
Is that enough to cover our market, or you feel you still
Yeah,
need
at the
to
moment,
do much?
Uganda has got little surplus with another 3 or 4 sugar factories which have come into production. Uganda is a surplus producer now, which has no shortage of sugar. As a matter of fact, it is exporting sugar to neighboring countries. Though neighboring countries are making it very difficult, particularly Kenya, not taking our sugar. You must have read in the newspaper that they're putting all kinds of restrictions on sugar coming from Uganda, even though we are supposed to have a free common market.
Has it limited then your performance if the regional countries which signed single protocol, maybe to make sure trade is free and trade is facilitated easily, and then they block it? Does it affect you so much?
The protocol has been signed, as you know. But administratively they are putting many hurdles. It has been eased recently, little bit, but it's still, I mean, the Kenya goods come into Uganda very freely. Uganda goods can't go into Kenya that freely as you get Kenya goods coming into Uganda freely. So this is one of the issues which government has already addressed, but they've got to address it more vigorously to exert the right of Uganda to sell any commodity without any restrictions in Kenya. In Kenya and in Tanzania and in Rwanda. These are the countries where there is shortage of sugar, which Uganda can easily supply.
Locally, are you facing competition that is healthy, or sometimes you feel that some competition you feel is unhealthy to you?
Well, some of the new plants which have come up are stealing the sugar cane. When I say stealing, the outgrowers whom we have financed, we have financed to the extent of about $5 million for the development of outgrowers. And there are 6,000 outgrowers. Similarly, Madhvanis have also financed thousands of outgrowers. Now, outgrowers are supposed to repay this loan out of supplying the sugar cane. But some of these new plants, take away the sugar cane by paying a little higher price, paying cash, and so right now we won't deduct anything from you. You pay a little higher price, and the sugar cane gets diverted. Something which has been developed at our cost to be supplied to us goes to the other sugar factories. That is little unfair. And we had requested government, to. Unfortunately, government gave the licenses to start the sugar factories in different areas without considering the geographic location. Normally, the sugar factories are given certain areas that within 35 kilometers or 35 miles, radius of that much, no other sugar factory will come, so that all the outgrowers can supply to that factory, in the center. But here they gave license, to the factory which was 10 kilometers away from, say, Madhvani's factory. It was 2 kilometers away from our estate. By the what is it called? One of the sugar factories near our Kenyara estate. This has created mess, and we are trying to come to an understanding with these people. But some of these factories don't have any land. They entirely depend on outgrowers' cane. And without considering that this particular outgrowers' cane has been financed by the sugar factory, existing sugar factory. More or less they steal the sugar, the cane which is in that area, by giving a little high price. So that is unfair competition.
Ugandans watching you might be remembering something that can be negative, the Mabira forest issue. Do you think it's affected your production capacity, and if they could have allowed you to destroy that forest, economically Uganda could have gained?
We would have reached 150,000 tons instead of going in stages like we started with 500,000 tons, then we increased our capacity now to 1 million tons of crushing of cane. That is 50,000 tons of sugar, 100,000 tons of sugar out of 1 million tons of cane. We could have gone to 150,000 tons of sugar, that is 1.5 million tons of cane crushing capacity. We have that capacity, we don't have that much of sugar cane available.
Would you say then today Uganda could be a giant producer of sugarcane in East Africa if that could have been allowed?
Well, it would have contributed, towards development of, increasing the production by say something like 100,000 tons of sugar. That's about 1 million tons of cane. And it would have resulted in investment of another something like $100 billion. It would have given employment to another 10,000 people. It would have resulted in building of schools, for another children of these workers who will be working there. It would have resulted in building new houses, new colonies, for the workers, establishing new schools, for the workers. That's the basis on which we operate. Wherever we go, we concentrate not only in development industries, but we develop the whole community. We give them free medical treatment. We give the children free schooling. We look after the cleanliness in the camps. We started like some malaria campaign to eradicate malaria in the estates, where people are living. All these activities are carried out by us, because we've always believed that intention of an industry for a good entrepreneur is not just to earn money, but give benefit of it to the entire community living in that area.
If Ugandans allow you to use the Mabira, destroy it and plant sugarcane, will you take up that land?
Politically, so much propaganda has been made about Mabira. The word Mabira itself rouses passion in the minds of people. And yet, 97,000 hectares of forest land in Uganda is depleted, and nobody talks about it. The so-called environmentalists, had started a campaign against 6,000 hectares of Mabira, which was going to be developed. That area also, what was to be given to the sugar factory, was not consisting of forest. It was from the fringes of forest, which was already depleted. However, when a particular issue rouses a passion in the minds of people, emotion, best thing is not to touch it. You find it other ways and means of expanding production. Why hurt the sentiment of the people? It may be rightly or wrongly, but they feel passionate about Mabira when it comes to Mabira. So why should we really disturb the minds of the people? It's not worth it. Industry, wherever it is established, must give happiness to the people, must give prosperity to the people living around. And if the people around do not understand the advantage of it, then it's no use imposing an industry on them or imposing development on them. It's better to refrain from doing that sort of thing.
Vision 2040, where do you see Uganda in terms of industrialization?
Well, Uganda has got petrol, gas now, and if income out of the petrol is properly utilized, and it can give rise to so many subsidiaries like petrochemical industries, etc. The country has very bright future. I use the word, if the revenue out of oil is properly utilized. In many countries now we have a lot of oil, but money is wasted due to misadministration, bad administration, and people are where they are. But if it's properly utilized for the development of infrastructure, for the development of facilities for the people, updating into our hospitals, schools, educational institutions, roads, water for everybody, electricity for everybody.
You're still watching Business Forum on WBS TV. We'll be right back.